Hi everybody, how are you? My name is Jamie Jarka from Lil Monsters Art, and I am going to be doing our second weekly art lesson with you today. If you don't know who I am an art teacher. I've been an art teacher for 15 years, mostly kindergarten through 5th grade. And I also have started a business a little over a year ago where I host parties, fundraisers, art parties, events, fundraisers for children and adults. Because of our situation, I decided that I wanted to contribute and give people the opportunity to still create at home. So I decided to start making weekly videos. Last week we did a sea turtle, and if you're interested in looking at that, you can always go back on my Facebook page and find how to make sea turtles or how to paint sea turtles. And this week we are learning about the artist Peter Max. If you've never seen any of Peter Max's artwork before, he is amazing. His colors are super vibrant, super bright. He's very iconic. He paints portraits, he paints pictures of still lifes, everything, but his main reason for being recognized is because of his bright colors. Okay, so you are gonna need a couple of things to get started. If you purchase the kit from me, thank you so much. There's only 2 areas that you can pick up the kit. So if you are just following along, I hope you have some of these things at home because they will be helpful to you. Number 1, you're gonna need some kind of a canvas or a piece of paper to work on. You're also going to need your colors. And if you bought the kit from me, you will find that you have a variety of colors in this ice cube tray, okay? You're gonna need a paintbrush if you're painting. You are going to need a pencil. You're going to need a paper towel. You may need a ruler or something with a straight edge. I also took out a piece of cardboard because this may be helpful as well, okay? And something to wash your brush if you are painting, okay? So I'm gonna give you a couple minutes to gather your materials. You also are going to want something to cover your space if you're working at your kitchen table or in a space that you don't want stuff all over the place. And you might want to wear something that is not so, that your clothing may get paint on it. I always wear this outfit during my videos because it's just easier for me. But if you have a smock, that might be a good idea to put that on, okay? So go gather your materials and I will be back in a second. While there was a ton of different paintings I could have chose from the artist Peter Max, I decided to go with his painting of the American flag. As you can see, it is pretty abstract. It doesn't look like a very realistic flag. I thought it was a little bit more fun. I'm going to kind of make it very similar to this, but I do encourage you to pick out your own colors, and if there's something you want to do a little bit different, please do it a little bit differently. Anything that you do is going to end up perfect no matter what you choose, but I'm going to make mine similar to his style that I have in my hand here, okay? I'm going to actually start by taking my canvas and turning it horizontal, because this is more of a horizontal painting. You can choose to do it the other way, but this is how I'm going to do mine. I'm going to start with using a Sharpie and not a pencil. And the reason why I am using a Sharpie is because you are not going to be able to see if I'm drawing with pencil. I did that last week or for my last video and it was really hard to see. So I'm just gonna draw mine with Sharpie. And you can draw it with pencil and you know, whatever. You don't have to even draw it out if you don't want to. But I'm gonna start by drawing out a large rectangle on my canvas, and that's how I'm gonna get started because there is like an edge around his whole painting here, okay? So I am going to start by using the Sharpie and drawing a pretty big rectangle. Again, if you need some kind of a straight edge, if you want to grab a ruler, you can. If you want to grab something that you have laying around that has any kind of straight edge, a piece of cardboard will help, a pan, anything that you have, you got to kind of get creative. But I'm just going to simply leave enough around the edge because I want to be able to see my colorful edge. He didn't leave all that much, but I like a little bit more color in mine, so I'm going to make mine a little bit different. One way that you might want to start, especially if you have a small child at home, it might be helpful if you just help them by drawing out the 4 dots, and they can kind of connect the dots for their rectangle. Okay, so I drew my 4, and now I'm not even going to use a straight edge. If you want to, you can. It doesn't really make a difference if it's perfect or not, but I'm just going to go straight across. Okay, I'm going to come down. I'm going to make this one a little bit longer. I'm going to come down and go along the bottom. Okay, so now I know that this is the area that is the outside of the picture, and this is going to be where the flag is. Okay, so you're going to actually draw another rectangle right around this area right here, the top corner of your original rectangle. Okay, so you can, again, if you're working with a child that's really little, you might want to mark it out for them or help them draw it out. But I'm just going to draw it out real quick. And then here's the thing, if you go outside of the lines a little bit, it's completely fine. Okay, don't worry about that. All right, now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stripes of red and 4 stripes of white. It can be exactly how we did it here, or you can just kind of do your own thing. I'm going to actually start at this point right here and go all the way out. And then I'm going to try my best to make these as even as possible. I am not one to measure everything out. I don't know. If you are a perfectionist, I would grab a ruler and measure it out, but that is not how I do things. I just kind of go with it. But if you feel more comfortable, please get your ruler and you can kind of measure out, you know, like 1.5 inches or 1 inch and go that way. But I do not do it that way. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So that fits, they look pretty even. And then I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'm actually going to make note, and you can do this with your pencil, where the red is going to go. So I'm just going to make a little X where the red would go, and it's going to be a pattern of red, white, red, white. So here's red, white, red, white, red, white, red, white, and then it's ending on red. Okay, so that's just how I set mine up. If you want to do it exactly the same, you can pause this and rewind it, or you can just kind of go with the flow. Okay, his already and mine do not look exactly the same. He's got only 3 stripes down at the bottom of his. But mine's already different, which is completely fine. Okay, we're not trying to copy his exactly. We're just being inspired by his picture or his painting. Okay, so now I'm going to get ready to paint because this is all we needed to draw out. So you can put your pencil down and get your paintbrush ready, and I will be right back. So now we are ready to paint. I'm excited about this part, but you have to understand that you're going to do yours the style that you want to do yours. You don't have to do it exactly like mine, but I'm going to actually show you how to do almost like a rainbow around the whole thing. So it's going to go from like a red to like a, well, not so much red. I'm going to use like pink, and then I'm going to have it fade into like orange, and then fade into yellow, and then fade into a green, and then fade into a blue. So I'm going to use pretty much every color except for red, I think. If you purchase the palette, I'm not going to use too much red because I'm going to put the red in the flag up here. So, you know, that's just how I'm going to get started is by kind of fading the colors into each other. So I'm going to show you how to do that. But you have to mix certain colors together. You can't mix like purple and yellow together. You have to kind of follow, if you're going to do it this way. I mean, you could do a whole rainbow pattern around the side. You could do whatever you want, but this is just how I'm going to do mine. So I'm kind of going to let the video just, you know, watch me paint for a little bit. But again, if you're going to do it this way, you have to kind of follow the same color pattern that I'm following so that you don't get like a brown, okay? Because I know that you really probably aren't gonna want a brown, okay? So again, Peter Max and his beautiful bright colors, he started off with like a pink in this whole corner, and then it faded into like orange, and then yellow, and then green, and then blue. We're gonna do that here. I'm not gonna do it exactly like his. I'm gonna just do my own thing, but I'm gonna start by dipping into some kind of a pink, okay? And every once in a while, I like to dip my paintbrush into the water and just get my paint a little wet. It helps spread it out on the canvas a little bit too. Okay, so I've got a lot of pink on my brush. I'm just gonna start by going up and down, side to side. And I'm gonna do this little corner and down, you know, not halfway, just a little less than halfway. Okay, and anytime I seem to be running out of paint, you can go, I like to call this the paint store. You're just gonna go back to the paint store, put a little bit more on there. Okay, don't forget about the sides of your canvas, of course, because you'll be hanging these up. You don't want to have a messy edge that you could see. Okay, so I'm dipping it in again. And you can pause the video at any time. Okay, I'm going to dip it into some water, kind of push this around a little bit. And it will make it a little bit more transparent, meaning like you can see the white from the canvas a little bit still. If you don't like that, use a little tiny bit less water. I'm gonna just go side to side. I always love that when we start painting, like everybody is, you know, starts off like, ooh, I don't know what this is gonna look like. And then when we end up finishing them, they look so awesome. And I'm loving that so many people are sending me photos and videos of their kids painting. It's awesome. My kids like watching it too. I have a 4- and 6-year-old. They love watching it. They're just sick of painting with mommy because I have them painting all the time. Okay, so I finished my pink. Okay, if you want to go back and make it a little bit darker later, you want to, you know, fix anything on it, you can always go back to it later too. Okay, but I did pretty much this little corner section here. Okay, now I'm just gonna put a little bit, after I wash my brush, of course, I forgot to tell you, make sure you give your brush a bath. Okay, and then gently wipe them on your paper towel, make sure everything's clean. If it's clean, you're gonna dip into your next color. Okay, if you're doing the same as me. If not, and you're just doing a pattern of all these colors around the edge, have fun. You could do stripes, you could do, you know, little rainbows, whatever you wanna do, but this is how I'm doing mine. Okay, I'm gonna dip into some orange now. And I'm just gently going to go up into the pink just a little bit. Okay. Oh, I hear my son screaming. Oh God. Up and down. Okay. You're still gonna see a little bit of the, you know, pink going into the orange. It's not gonna be perfect. Remember, if you need to, you can dip into a little bit of water just to kind of get the paint moving around a little. The top. Now notice that I'm going a little bit more than halfway. Okay, I'm going to go side to side. Remember to do the top of the canvas, or the edge I should say. And the same thing on this side, sorry. Okay, and now I'm going to clean off my brush again, and I'm going to start using a little bit of yellow. Okay, so make sure you clean them off really good. Give him a bath. Dry him on your paper towel. Make sure he's nice and clean. And then you're going to dip into the yellow. Okay, up and down. You're going up into your orange a little bit. Okay, I need to clean this off before I dip back into the yellow because I have a lot of orange on my brush. Taking care of your palette is extremely important, because if you don't, you end up wasting all that color. Okay, I'm going to do all the way down to the edge. That is not exactly how Peter Max did his, but this is how Miss Jamie is doing hers. Okay? All right. So, don't worry about this edge right this second. Okay. I'm going to also do up here in the top section, give it a little bath, dip them back into that yellow in your palette. Okay, and you're going into that orange, making sure you do the top. Okay, it doesn't matter if you went a little bit further down than what I did. I just hope you're having fun. That's all that matters. You're creating, hopefully you've got some music playing. I normally have music playing, but it'll probably distract. Okay, so I did a little bit down here. I did my whole edge up here, all the way to this corner. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna go to the corner, and then I'm just gonna stop. And the next color will be green, okay? Because green and yellow mix really nicely together. Okay, so I'm gonna clean off my brush. Notice your water is starting to turn all different colors. Okay, I'm gonna dip into the green, and I'm going to use a little bit of green and mush it slightly into that yellow. And again, if I am going fast and you're trying to do this exactly the way I'm doing it, you could pause this at any time and go back. Cleaning it off. And then I'm going to do the same thing up at the top here. And go up into that yellow. And it doesn't matter if it looks like a block or if you see the line. Mine's a little light, so I'm going to not dip into any water this time because my brush is pretty clean, and I'm just going to put a little bit more green on there. And I'm going to do my edge. Okay. Okay. And now my next color is, I'm going to use a light blue. I'm not going to use the same blue that I'm going to use here. I'm going to use a lighter blue. So I'm going to dip into this teal that I have in my palette. Okay, I'm just going to fade that into the green. And I'm going to dip into a little bit of water, clean it off. A little bit more water. Okay. Uh-oh, I hear a child coming up the steps. A little bit more blue. I was gonna do a little bit of purple, but I am thinking that I want to just do back to the magenta a little bit because that's going to create like a cool purple anyway. So I'm gonna use this pink after I used a little bit of blue and mix that because I like the way that will make its own purple. If you want to use purple, you can, but I just picked the color that I had up here and I'm kind of putting that on the top. Finishing it off with the purple. Well, it's making it purple, I'm sorry. Okay, so now, what am I gonna do about this edge down here? I'm gonna clean off my brush. And I'm going to just finish this edge down here. So I used a little bit of green, clean it off. A little bit of this magenta color. Pink color on the side here too, and then a little bit of that blue, doesn't have to be perfect, and then the last little bit that I have to do is the yellow in my corner. Okay, now if I seem like I'm going fast, that is okay. You can always pause and watch the video again. Okay, so mine kind of looks like a big rainbow of colors, minus red. I didn't want any red because I'm gonna have a lot of red in my flag, and I didn't pick the dark blue because I'm gonna have the dark blue in my flag. But I'm happy with this right now. So what I did is I took the pink, faded into orange, then faded into yellow, then into the green, then into the blue, and then I picked the pink again and made my own purple. If you wanted to use purple, that's completely fine. And I'm gonna stop right here for a minute, and I am going to show you how to do your flag next. And then we have all these fun things that we're gonna put around the edge too. Okay? All right. Okay. So now it is time to paint our flag area, okay? We're gonna start by using blue, a darker blue, okay? And then we're going to use red. And remember, I put X's where my red was going, just so I didn't get confused. But I'm going to do the blue, and then after that, I'm going to rinse my paintbrush off really, really good, and then I'm gonna start at the red, with the red at the top. And then yes, I am actually going to paint the canvas. Even though it's white here, I'm still gonna paint white here, okay? I just, you know, you can't leave the canvas blank like that because it just looks like it's unfinished. All right, so we're gonna start with the blue, and then we're going to paint the red and white stripes. It doesn't matter if you do red and then you clean your brush off and do white. I like to do all the reds at the same time. Actually, I'll probably do all the whites at the same time and then do the reds second. Okay, so I'm going to actually, yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay, all right, see you in a few minutes. You are done with your little background and that's drying nicely, and you're done with your stripes of your flag and the blue section of your flag. So now we're going to decorate our background a little, and this is a time where you get to do something fun. You could do as many as you want or as little as you'd like. You can use shapes, you can use patterns, things that repeat themselves, you can use letters, X's. Peter Max just had the gift of just being able to go up to his work of art and not really plan out the next step. He pretty much just let his hand and his brain work, and he just went up to his canvas and just started doing his thing. He didn't have things planned out. I think that's why I like him so much. But yeah, I'm just going to take a bunch of different colors. I'm going to go around the whole thing. You can do something similar or you can do your own thing. But like I said, if you think about some different patterns or shapes that you like, it could be hearts, it could be stars, it could be just lines, it could be something really simple, just dots. You could even just use the end of your paintbrush to kind of stamp different shapes on there. That is completely up to you, but I'm just going to do my background for a little bit. And then after that, I'm going to do the little stars. Okay, I'm going to try to show you the easiest way to do a star, and then we'll be able to outline if we want to and finish off our piece. Okay. I'm sure you did a wonderful job with all of your designs in your background, and just remember that you can always go back and finish some things later too. And I also forgot that if you wanted to cut these pieces of cardboard and make them a little bit smaller than this huge piece, you can also use that, dip it into your paint, and use that as a stamp tool for your background as well. Okay, what we're going to focus on right now is the 4 stars that are in the picture. Now maybe you have a couple more stars that you're going to add. Maybe you're going to do only 3. It doesn't make a difference, but in Peter Max's painting, he did his 4 stars, and it looks like he free-handed them, meaning he didn't use any kind of any kind of tool to help kind of draw them out. He just kind of did it with his hand, just very quickly. He didn't use a stencil, is what I was trying to say. I'm going to show you 3 different ways to do the stars. One is you could use a paper towel roll holder. You would take the paper towel roll holder, you might need a little bit of help with this. You would scrunch it up and make it into a star shape, and then you could dip that into your white paint and stamp it onto your artwork. That is one way of doing it. Another way would just be the freehand approach. That would be just kind of drawing it out with your hand. And then the other way is just like kind of like a little template, not a template, but just another little way to draw it out. So I'm going to show you how to do those 2 right now. Okay, I'm going to take my tip of my brush. That means just the end, not the whole thing. I'm going to dip it into the white paint, and I'm going to make 4 stars on mine. I'm going to start at the top corner, top left corner, and I'm going to just sketch it out. Okay, now I've done stars before. I don't want my star to be perfect because in Peter Max's artwork, he kind of, his are not perfect either. Another way of doing the star would be to dip into the white paint. If you create a V, like an upside down V, okay, and then you put a line across it, it'll kind of look like an A, but that it has like longer arms sticking out. So here would be the A, but you would go out and extend it a little bit further. Now what you would do is you would connect this to here and this to here. So I'm going to go down and then go up. That's another way of making a star. So I'll do that one more time. So I'm going to make an upside down V. Okay. with just the tip of my paintbrush, I'm going to draw a line across so it looks like a big A with long arms. And then from this corner over here to the bottom, and I'm gonna extend this just a little bit, from this over here, okay? And then you can always fill in the center with the blue again. Or you can just take your hand and just kind of draw it out or sketch it out with your paintbrush. Paint it out, not sketch, right? Okay, now mine are all over the place. This is the style that I like. I didn't want it to be perfect. I didn't want my flag to look like it was, you know, the lines were perfect. I like this style a little bit more. And I'm just going to, because I have lines in here, I'm just gonna take that blue and I'm going to go right over it. And it might end up a little bit mixing with the white, and that's okay. It'll make like a little bit of a lighter blue. Okay, but now you don't see those lines anymore. And you could let this dry and then go over it again if you want, or if you like the color that you've created in there, you can kind of color this one a little bit of a lighter blue as well. Just by using the blue, and then it mixes with the white that you already had in the background from drawing the star. All right, so now it looks like I have a white line around a light blue star. Okay, and you can, you know, now I kind of messed up the edge a little bit, that's okay. You can always go back and dip into the white paint and do it again. Or you could wait for it to dry too. If it's smearing too much, just wait for things to dry and do it again. Okay, that looks a little off still, but that's okay. All right, so now I'm gonna do a little something. I'm gonna take black paint with mine, and you don't have to do this, but I'm gonna outline like my edge, and I'm going to outline a couple other things in my artwork here. Okay, hold on one second, Brian. What's dessert? Hold on one second, okay, buddy? All right, so I'm gonna put you on pause, and I'm going to paint this, and then I'll come back and see how you're making out. Okay, so I am sure that you are finished with your piece, or almost finished with your piece, and that it looks absolutely fabulous. I didn't put this in the video, but I added a couple extra things to my work of art. My last name being one of them. You could sign wherever you want on your piece. Sometimes I write my last name with the date, like just 20. I don't write like, you know, the entire date out, but I added my last name here. I also put a little bit of white in the stars and just like little white lines, and a couple of extra things on the flag here. And I actually painted this a little bit darker up here because it was a little bit too light for me. Okay, you could change whatever you need to change once, if you think you're finished, then just leave it and hang it up. I'm sure it looks amazing, and I'm really happy that you painted with me today. I hope that you learned a little bit about our artist of the week, Peter Max. And if you didn't get the chance to see some, paintings or pictures that he's done before, go on to my Facebook page or my Instagram page, and I have links in there that will lead you to some of a YouTube video, and it's Peter Max, like while he's working. It's pretty interesting. It's short, but it'll give you a good idea of what a wonderful artist he is, and he's actually still alive, and he's been creating for I think over 55 years now. But I hope you had fun. I hope that you will share with me all of your paintings, all of your artwork on my Instagram or on my Facebook page, or even if you just want to send me a message with your artwork. I love to see it. I love to see how they all look so different. I hope you had a great time, and I hope that you join us next week, okay, for a whole new lesson. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I know that I would love if you would join me, okay? Thanks again. I hope you have a really nice day. Okay.